It's been naturally out to the exciting wallet of knowledge. Today is May 19th, a wonderful Monday in 2025. And oh boy, do I have a super interesting paper from the large that's machine learning archive for us today. The title is, quite a mouthful. It's called Negative Step Sizes Make Gradient Gains and Instant Drain. You can find it on our guide and the Plural East Active Org EBS 2505.1320. Wow, that's a long one, just like the paper itself. It's by Henry Shugart and Jason Schuler from Penn. So let's think about what problem these smart folks are trying to solve. Imagine, kids, you're trying to find the lowest point in a valley, but also the highest point on a nearby mountain at the same time. This is kind of like what will call min-max problems or saddle point. They are super important in optimization, learning, and even playing games. The most natural way to try and solve this is an algorithm called gradient descent, or descent or short. It's like one part tries to go down the center, and the other part tries to go up the center. But here's the tricky part. For a long time, since the 1970s even, everyone thought that doesn't really work well. It often just goes in circles or wanders off, especially for problems that aren't super simple. It's like trying to tune a radio, but you keep overshooting the station. So people invented all sorts of fancy add-ons to down with its drag gradients and momentum to make it work. But this paper says, no, hold on a minute. Be sure that GDA in its original, simple form can actually work. The secret, my new listeners, isn't how you take your steps. That says is, Little so? Isn't that a fun name? Now, what makes these Slingshot step sizes so special? Well, three things. First, they are time varying, meaning the size of the step changes as you go. Second, they power symmetry and millimeter part in the maximizer. Part might have different size steps. And third, and this is the real surprise, is sometimes used at this, negative step sizes. That's right. Sometimes the algorithm takes a tiny step backward. I know. I know taking a step backward sounds like a bad idea, right? Like if you're trying to reach a goal, why go backward? But the authors explained that these negative steps are super clever. They help desynchronize the two parts of the problem, the min and the max. This stops them from getting stuck in that circling dance. It's like a mass slingshot, because if you know to pull back a little, the forward progress you make in other steps becomes larger. So, overall, you get to the solution and fast. Think of it like parallel parking a car. You have to move forward a bit and backward a bit to get into that tight spot. The forward and backward movements kind of cancel out in one way, but they result in a sideways movement that you couldn't do otherwise. These positive and negative steps seem to do something similar, creating a net movement in new helpful direction. And how does this compare to other ways of doing things? Well, standard gauge was said often just doesn't converge. Other methods of extra bits and pieces to done. But this paper shows that with these clever slingshot steps is the original deck can match, or even beat, the speed of those more complicated methods on some classic tricky problems. For some problems, it even reaches the best possible speed any similar algorithm could hope for. Now, where could we see the magic of solving these min-max problems in our daily lives? Let's think of 3 examples. First, imagine those amazing apps that can create pictures of people who don't even exist, or turn your photo into a cartoon. These often use something called generative adversarial networks, or GANs. Training GANs is a big min-max game. One part, the generator, tries to create realistic images, while the other part, the discriminator, tries to tell if they're real or fake. Making that work better, what this paper suggests, could help us create even more amazing and realistic images, or even help doctors by trying AI to find patterns in medical scans. Second, think about spam email filters or making self-driving cars super safe. These involve something called adversarial machine learning. The AI model is trying to do its job like filter spam or drive safely, while an adversary, like a spammer, or a tricky load situation, is trying to fool it. This is a min-max problem. Better algorithms mean our spam filters get smarter at catching new tricks, and our self-driving cars become more robust and reliable when facing unexpected challenges. It's like the car is playing a game to always make the safest decision. And third, let's consider recommendation system, like on video websites or online shops. These systems try to suggest things you might like. You can think of this as a game too. The system tries to minimize your own dissatisfaction by showing you good things, while it also has to explore and deal with your changing tastes, or even compete with other items for your attention. However, businesses think about them as storecasting, like how much ice cream a store should stock. They want to find the best strategy even if, say, customer demand is unpredictable or a competitor does something unexpected. These ideas could help make these predictions and recommendations more accurate and robust. The authors also show that these slingshot dynamics, with the negative steps, cleverly approximate something called non-consensus optimization. It's like the algorithm is finding a way to get certain order information, which is usually more complex to get by just using simple first-order steps. So clever. So the big takeaway is that a fundamental algorithm, which many thought was broken for these min-max problems, can actually be made to work wonderfully. All it took was a fresh idea, very clever. I claim to read about taking occasional backward steps. It's a great reminder that sometimes the simplest tools, when used in a new way, can be incredibly powerful. That's all for today, little explorers. Keep asking questions and stay curious.